Hi, everybody. All right. Well, welcome back for another episode of GC Community Chat. You are listening to show number 244 for May 7th, 2015. This is the podcast where we promote news and information from our community and yours. I'm your host, Kerry, and joining me tonight are my co-hosts, Dr. Tom Iwinski. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Look, a little hot today.
Yeah, it is. It was hot. I was thinking about turning the air on. I don't know.
Not yet.
We'll see. Also back joining us for tonight is Derek Parton with Sports. How you doing, Derek?
Good. It's nice to be back again.
All right.
Been a while.
Yeah, been a while. And former Garden City councilman and longtime resident of Garden City, Mr. Mike Jones. Mike, how are you?
Doing great, Kerry.
Awesome. And missing from the crew tonight, as you can see, is County Commissioner Richard LeBlanc, who is feeling a bit under the weather tonight, but may join us by phone a little later in the show. Also, we are...
Was he celebrating the election?
Yeah, probably. He said he didn't want to come and spread his cold germs around, so I said, yeah, keep it home, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Also, we're pleased to have with us tonight Senator David Knezek will be joining us a little bit later, who will be here to talk about the resounding defeat of Prop 1. We'll see what happens next, and is there a Plan B in the works? And if anything, I'm sure Richard will want to call in just for that segment. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah. He's got to predict the next step, the Plan B.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he has to say if he calls in. Okay, as I said, we have a lot to get to tonight, including Holly and Joey. They're going to be here. They have their 2-minute gardening tips. And then a little later in the show, Mike will have some community announcements. All right, before we get started, let me just mention that on last week's show, we had veteran Richard Waldecker on to talk about Agent Orange. And, boy, he sure opened my eyes. I don't know. What about you, Mike?
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
I didn't realize how serious that problem was.
Yeah, still serious. And he talked about how it is affecting so many generations and even veterans and civilians that didn't even serve in Vietnam. We received a lot of response to this show, so I wanted to let everyone know about their upcoming Agent Orange Town Hall meeting to be held May 9th, this Saturday, at Northville High School in the auditorium. Registration is at 7 a.m., and the program starts at 8 a.m. There's going to be several guest speakers there, and it's totally free to veterans, their families, medical staff, and the general public. So if you have a lot of questions or just want to be educated on this topic, then this is the place to be. You can still register online at www.vva528.org, and we'll be doing a follow-up show with Mr. Waldecker, so stay tuned for that. Okay, we have a great show for you tonight, so why not grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and hang with us for the next 60 minutes or so. Should be a good one. Now, it's very easy to join us here live tonight. You can call in by dialing 1-724-444-7444 and enter the call ID 82757 followed by the pound sign. Or join us in the chat room by going to TalkShoe.com and search for call ID 82757. That takes you right to our main show page where you'll click on the large Join In button, and a window's going to pop up, sign in as a guest, and that's all there is to it. Once you're in there, you can type your comments at the bottom of the page and find our phone number and show ID there as well. You can always text your questions to us at 734-788-9319. The audio from tonight's show will be posted on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GCChat as soon as it's made available. That's usually about 30 minutes or so after we sign off. We are also doing a live unedited video of tonight's show, and that will be made available sometime tomorrow on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/communitychatshow. And while you're there, why not subscribe? That way you'll be notified when we post future shows. And if that wasn't enough, we are also in iTunes. Just search for GC Community Chat. Okay, right. Mark your calendars for next week's show. That's May 14th. We will be welcoming Lisa Watts. Lisa is the Senior Activities Coordinator at the Maplewood Center, and she's always has something going on over there. So we'll find out what events that she has planned next. So mark your calendars, and we hope you'll consider joining us for that. Okay, coming up now is Doppler Tom with all the weather, Holly and Joey, and then we'll get to Senator Knezek if he's here, and we'll wrap up things with Derek and Mike. So let's get Tom in here.
Okay, let's do a check on weather with Doppler Tom. Let's see what he has in store for the rest of this week and the weekend coming up. Tom, take it away.
Hey, Tom. Kind of muggy today, a little hot.
Well, yeah, we're getting to that time of year, and it's been pretty nice all week, temperature-wise. We did see some rain early in the week, and that was a little bit of a downer, but it's getting warmer now, and the downside is more rain is coming, but not for the rest of the evening. It's going to be overall pretty clear out there. Temperatures are going to be mild, though, throughout the rest of the night. We're going to probably bottom out into the lower 60s. And again, during the early morning hours, we'll probably see a little fog like we have been like we've seen the last few days in the morning hours, and that will be continuing into the next morning as well. And again, temperatures will be in the low 80s as we get into tomorrow. And those afternoon clouds will build up throughout the day. But I do think the majority of Friday will be dry into Friday evening. But then as we get into the weekend, it doesn't look like it's going to be a great weekend for Mom out there. It looks like it's going to be overall a little cloudy. Definitely going to be mild out there, probably in the lower 80s to upper 70s, depending on how much rain we see during the day. But I do see a good chance of rain on Saturday and on Sunday. And some of that could be a little bit on the heavy side as well. So we'll definitely keep tuned to it. But I don't see any severe weather for this weekend, so that's some good news. But I definitely do see some heavier downpours, definitely a possibility. And then as we get into Monday, as the storm system is going to affect us the most, I do feel like there will probably be even more heavier downpours on Monday as that storm system gets closer to us. And we'll probably see a little bit of storms as well. I probably don't see a whole lot of storms this weekend, but I do think Monday's the biggest day for storms out there. And as that storm system moves through, and it's going to be leading some strong impacts as we get into late next week. A big cool down is coming. I know you've been dealing with such mild air. I do see a big cool down as we head throughout next week. I'm not talking about a crazy cool down, but nevertheless a big cool down. High temperatures will probably be in the lower 60s. Which is a big cool down for this time of year because we have been in the 80s. And that is below average for this time of year. And I know you're probably thinking about the gardens out there. Do I have to freak out and worry about the covering stuff up that I've been planting?
Right.
I don't feel like you're going to have to. I do feel like it is going to be chilly at times during the early morning hours as we get into late next week. I do see 40s. So that's a little bit on the chilly side, but I don't see temperatures producing frost and freeze conditions. So we'll decipher that as we get into next week. But the big story for us is over the weekend into Monday as we have to deal with those rain and thunderstorms as well. And expanding out, talking about some other stories, we're going to start local and move outward. Over the weekend on Saturday, we've seen a little bit of a rare event across Michigan. We had a pretty substantial earthquake across Michigan, which is not something we really talk about. It was a 4.2. It was a region around Kalamazoo, and it didn't really cause any, obviously, any injuries because it's not a very strong earthquake. But nevertheless, apparently there was it felt all across Michigan. Personally, I didn't feel it. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really feel it here. But it was a pretty interesting because that earthquake, it was revealed that the fault line is running across southwestern Michigan. So that earthquake revealed a fault line. So we could see even some more earthquakes from that fault line, but these aren't going to be strong earthquakes. It's just something to note that if you're starting to wave a bit in your chair, it could be the earth moving, but you're not going crazy. I just wanted to briefly mention that because it's pretty interesting that the earth can move way up here to Michigan, but I don't feel like it's going to be anything that we have to worry about. And expanding outward even more, the biggest story across the U.S. right now is severe weather. They had a very bad day of severe weather yesterday across Oklahoma. There was a lot of tornadoes that touched out and a lot of flooding. Flooding was a very big story as well. And unfortunately, there was a woman that died in her tornado shelter because she drowned. It's a very bizarre story. She was protecting herself from the tornado in her storm shelter, but there was so much rain with these thunderstorms that she was drowned from that. She couldn't get out of her storm shelter. because the tornado hit. So it's a quite bizarre story, but unfortunately she did not make it. But that is the stories that are ongoing across the plains. And unfortunately, all this weekend, there's going to, Oklahoma especially, and across the plains from Texas to Kansas, there's the corridor where it's going to be very stormy all weekend, and tornadoes very large and potentially destructive tornadoes will continue all this weekend. So they definitely need to keep tuned to the weather up in that area because it's going to continue. And the other big weather story is a little bit of a tropical theme. Hurricane season doesn't start until June 1st, but there is a little entity off the South Carolina coast. There's a little low pressure system that is going to produce a little bit of wind and a little bit of rain all across the southeastern coast as it moves out to sea. But nevertheless, it will probably cause a lot of rain and a lot of flooding all across South Carolina and the Carolinas out there. But pretty interesting to note that there's a system that could become a tropical storm, and it's not even the hurricane season yet. So that was something I wanted to mention. But other than that, severe weather across the U.S. is the biggest story across the spectrum and our stormy weekend that we have on top. So if you want to keep tuned to all the local weather information, just go to my website, DopplerTownsWeather.com. And the downside is Mother's Day does look a little rainy, so if you're going to be out and about with Mom, just keep an umbrella handy, and you should be all right. That's it.
All right, sounds good, man.
Hey, Tom.
Mike's got a question.
Yeah. Am I going to be able to get these ball games in at Comerica Park Friday night, Saturday daytime, and Sunday night?
Friday night is the best night out of the two. As we get into Saturday night, it could be a little bit of a delay.
Well, Saturday's a day game.
Don't forget Friday night's game, then, yes.
Saturday's a day game, and Sunday's a night game.
Saturday, again, I am worried about, and Sunday, again, is another day you should be worried about as well. So we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. The timing is a big key, but I do think Friday night's game will be fine.
All right.
Probably be delays.
Well, we need a little rain, but, you know, it'd be nice if it didn't rain for Mother's Day.
During the baseball game.
Well, the mothers aren't going to be real happy either, I don't think. They got to stay indoors.
I didn't talk about snow. There is snow across the United States, but I decided not to put that in my segment. So,
Are you serious? Oh, my
yeah,
God.
all that severe weather is creating a big snowstorm across the Rockies. Wyoming, Colorado, they're going to see over a foot of snow across that region.
Wow,
so
that's
There's a whole
crazy.
bunch of weather out there. It's going to be a crazy
Going
weekend.
in the day.
Yeah, but that's still talking about snow. That is kind of crazy, though.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep.
Let's get to Holly and Joey. We'll get our 2-minute gardener tips, and then Senator Knezek's here. We'll get to him. All right, here we go.
Supper?
This is Gardening in 2 Minutes. As gardeners, we have a vast variety of mediums that we can grow plants in. We are taking the practice of growing them in a straw bale. Straw bale is the byproduct of the wheat industry. It's the stalks. There's also a variety of other types of straw, sugarcane straw, oat straw, to grow in.
Straw bale gardening is ideal if you don't have a situation where you may not want to tear the ground up or build a raised bed, or if you have like a condo or a patio.
Straw bales can be purchased for very little money at your local garden center. You can ask on social media, and or you may know a farmer that's willing to give you a good deal. This can be one straw bale, or dozens, or in some cases hundreds, based on the achievement that you want to occur into your garden. You can go to your favorite search engine, type in straw bale gardening, and you can see the many different images and videos of people who have successful straw bale gardening. There is a practice that you have to perform before just throwing some seeds or starts into a straw bale. It's called conditioning.
The good news is that it doesn't take much work to condition it. It just takes a couple of weeks. And also, you can grow just anything that you can grow in the ground, a container or a raised bed, you can grow in the straw bale garden. You're not limited to just a few plants. You may have to let things vine off of it or build a trellis, but you can grow everything in that straw bale.
And if, depending on what you're growing in that straw bale, in some cases those straw bales can be used again the following year, so you can get 2 years out of one straw bale. For more information on straw bale gardening and to follow our straw bale gardening, you can find all that information at
the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com.
For our weekly video productions, our free downloadable digital quarterly magazine is for the health-conscious organic gardener worldwide. For Gardening in 2 Minutes, I'm Joey Baird.
And I'm Holly Baird.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Okay. We have the senator is in the house.
What up?
At this time, I'd like to introduce State Senator David Knezek. How you doing, David?
I'm great. It's good to be back.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, we missed you. What was it, last week?
Last week.
Yeah, that was a
of
good
my
show.
own stupidity.
Well, no, not really. Not really.
Partially.
Well, okay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing you. You know that. Hey, so Prop 1. Wow.
I
Big,
believe that's
big
what we
defeat.
call an ass whooping.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we were on the same page with that.
They opened up a can of whoop ass, didn't they?
Wow!
Man,
wow!
oh,
wow!
man.
Wow! I think most members of the legislature knew going into those final days that things were not looking good, but I don't think anybody predicted an 80-20 defeat.
I thought it would tighten up a little bit, but I mean, it didn't tighten up at all.
It was even worse than that in Garden
Yeah.
City.
Yeah, worse than.
You know what blew my mind, though, when I saw those numbers? The turnout for this May special election was higher
Yes.
than the primary election turnout in Garden City.
22% turnout.
Isn't that weird?
And that's real high for a special election.
Very high.
It was 593 yes, 3,932 no.
When I'm running in Garden City and on the ballot, I think the most that we expect in a primary is 2,500 to 3,000 votes is what shows up, and that's again split both ways.
That really brought them out.
You're creeping on 6,000.
Yeah.
Or over 6,000 votes there. I mean, that's a great turnout.
The entire state, 80-20. 1.4 million no.
Right.
350,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Jesus. So, okay. So has the message been sent loud and clear to Lansing?
I think
What do you think?
So I'll be the first to say I've got the message.
Oh, I know.
I
know
think
you
that, or we'll know here in a couple of days whether or not Lansing has gotten the message. You know, I got onto Facebook after the I guess results came out. We knew it was going down, and I had published.
Yep.
And it actually went over, I mean, really well. I mean,
did.
you know, in terms of, the legislature needs to look itself in the eye and say, we made a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with admitting that. You know, the legislature decided to send us to a vote. I had voted yes to make that happen, you know, and the residents have said pretty clearly, first and foremost, when we say fix the roads and bridges, we mean fix the roads and bridges and nothing else.
Exactly.
Nothing else.
Yep, that's
and
it.
so
That's the point.
I think the plan that you're going to see come out next, without question, is going to be focused on that. And I think the other piece of the puzzle that residents have kind of sent is that, you know, we're tired of picking up the bill. And even though there were some good things in that package, and I mean, that's the truth, restoring the earned income tax credit, the warranties piece, the increased fines and what have you on the trucks, you know, the residents said at the end of the day, we're not voting to tax ourselves. We have been taxed way too much these last couple of years, and we're not footing the bill.
And you said to lower our weight limits too, didn't you?
Absolutely, you
because
have to.
we're higher than what? Anybody in? Well,
We've
we're
got the highest in the country.
Yeah, I think so.
Highest in the country.
Yeah.
And so the question is going to be, and you know this, the devil's in the details. What's next?
Yeah,
And the Speaker of the House has said that he's going to be releasing his plan, his proposal in the next few days. So we're going to have to wait and see what that looks like. The thing that I said that would go, I think, a really long way is that, you know, Tuesday's vote, you know, sure, it was about those things I mentioned already, and I said later on, you know, it's about trust. And the residents did not trust, one, the proposal that was sent to them, and two, the folks who sent it to them. And so in terms of regaining the public trust on this issue, I think there's some really common sense things that we can do right off the bat related to truck weight limits and warranties and what have you, to demonstrate that we're serious about it and that our focus is just on the roads.
Yeah, you got to hold their feet to the fire.
Right.
I mean, as far as the guys that are putting the roads in too, the warranties, like you said.
Right. So it's
Pay for it.
and that's the other question. You know, the Speaker has said that he'd like to look at some of the economic development money that's within the budget. You know, to just, I guess, give a brief budget overview, you know, we've got a $58 billion budget in Michigan every year. Maybe 10% of that is actually unrestricted funds, meaning that we can dedicate where it goes. I mean, most of that is, you know, money that's collected for a specific purpose has to be used for a specific purpose, or it comes from the Fed. Very few of those dollars on the whole are what we would call unrestricted. And so the speaker's indicated that he'd like to look at some of the money that we have set aside in the state for economic development purposes, having said that, you know, he thinks that roads is an economic development tool as it relates to, you know, attracting businesses and attracting families and moving goods and services and ideas and what have you. He thinks that he could be able to justify some of those economic development dollars going to the road construction piece.
So, as it stands right now, there is no Plan B.
As of right now, I mean, the very next day, well, that night, I mean, I think folks are trying to come up with what they think is going to be the final product.
So, who are the folks that come up with Plan B? I mean, you mentioned the speaker. I mean, who are the people? I mean, are you one of them?
You're gonna always have members who are putting forward their ideas and their suggestions, and certainly, you know, as you know, I've already put out a number of ideas that I think would go a really long way. At the end of the day, you're going to have, you know, the speaker. Well, first of all, it's going to come down pretty heavily partisan. You know, we've got a Republican governor, Republican House, Republican Senate. So you're going to have the leader of the Senate, you're going to have the Speaker of the House, and you have the governor and their staffs working together on these proposals. You're going to have the chairman of the transportation committees in the House and the Senate.
Yeah, that's a big voice too.
And the chairman of the appropriations committees related to transportation. And so this is going to be the sort of core group of folks who sit down. They don't have to include anybody else in that group if they don't want to. But I think what they're going to realize is that if we're talking about any sort of new revenue, we're going to need folks on both sides of the aisle to support that. If we're going to do anything other than having a conversation on roads, folks are not going to want to be a part of that. I'm certainly not interested in being a part of that after what we know the residents told us. And so, you know, it may also, you know, they could pull together a work group. You know, the governor could stand up, you know, in an unofficial capacity, but appoint a work group to say this is the core group of folks that I want to have focus on this issue. And when that happens, when you have a work group stood up, that's where you're going to see you know, Republicans and both Democrats, both sides on that issue.
Yeah, you really do.
Right.
It really should work that way.
Sure.
It really should.
Sure.
And I read your comment, you know, your status on Facebook, and it was stated really, really good, I thought. And, you know, I said, I just wish that all the legislators read this, you know.
Well, it's like, you know, when we were going through the coffee hours, you know, I think really it's the first issue that the commissioner and I have disagreed on. Yeah. You know, and obviously we were in two different positions.
I'm surprised he hasn't called in yet, but I know he's sick, so he could be sleeping. He said he was going to go home at the 8.
And so, you know, I said the whole time, if I had sole control over the right of it, it would look drastically different.
Well, you said you held your nose on this prop, too. I mean, but, you know, what are you going to do? You know?
Well, like you said, I mean, we voted on what we had in front of us.
Yeah.
And the residents said, it ain't good enough. Right. So get back there and do your jobs.
And a lot of them didn't like having to make that decision in the first place.
Which I think is completely legitimate.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that disappointed me most, and you know, I'm the first guy to stay away from getting overly partisan.
Yep.
Tuesday, the vote goes down. Wednesday, we show up to work in the Senate, Democrats and Republicans. At 1 o'clock that day, the Democratic members of the House of Representatives showed up to work, and the Republican House of Representative members went out to the west side of the state for the Tulip Festival.
I saw that. I think Julie post?
Yeah. Didn't show up to work. No votes that day because they were out in the Tulip Festival.
Yeah, see, now that's got to piss you off a little bit.
Certainly it does. I mean, and even the folks who say, you know, they don't like to do overly political stuff or partisan stuff, I mean, come on.
And yeah, you really haven't been like that. But boy, there's a good example right there.
The day after it goes down, you're out.
That's when you should have been showing up to work for sure.
And you know, the conversations about how long it's going to take to get this done, this is not rocket science. I mean, if we are going by what the voters say, focus solely on this issue, we can put together a plan, I mean, in a week. If they were serious about it, we could put together a plan in a week.
Do you think if this proposal would have been strictly for roads and bridges only, do you think it would have passed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody that we're
It was
talking
everything
to-
else that was hung on it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
People seem to be willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Individual people seem to be willing to pay, as a large majority,
Yep.
for fixing the roads.
Yep.
They don't like the disparity. They'd like to see business chip in a little bit more, too.
Right. If you say it's going to be for roads, by God, like you said, it's going to be for
And
roads.
here's the only proof that we need of that. The statewide millage, the part of it,
Yeah.
the state proposal went down.
Good
But
example.
across the state, the individual local millages that folks were looking for roads
Passed.
passed
Yes.
overwhelmingly.
Yeah, that's a great
Passed
example.
overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
So
Community,
if it was- yeah.
right, community road millages.
If it was, for example, if Garden City had put some on the ballot, this is for roads, just for roads, it would have passed.
I believe
overwhelmingly.
that's probably what's going to have to happen in Garden City. I really think that's probably going
for
to
our
have to
local
happen
roads.
for our local roads.
Sure,
Some
sure.
kind of a mill.
The thing that I really hope doesn't happen, and when folks try to inject the politics to it, it just muddies the water so much.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that we don't have folks who are out there putting out these BS plans, just trying to have a little political gimmick out there. We've had folks calling in, their legislators saying that we should cut legislative salaries 10% to pay for the roads. I said, how much do you think we get paid?
I know.
How much do you think we get? So I did the math. If we cut,
Let's just
No.
let's just say, let's be forward here.
Yeah.
You did not get a raise. You went from state rep to senator
Right.
as a lateral.
right. So I
And
went
people
through.
they don't understand. They don't get it.
I asked somebody the other day. I said, "How much do you think we make?" They said, "Well, don't you make like 175,000?" I said, "Oh my God, I wish.
God.
I wish." But so I went through. I did the math. I was just curious. They said take your wages down by 10%, and if that's not enough, keep taking it down by 10% until you get there. And so if we took 10% off every every
that's
legislator,
funny.
we'd raise $1 million. So we're $1.2 billion short. And if we reduced every legislator's salary to zero,
Yeah.
we'd raise $10 million, and we'd only be $1.2 billion short.
So
And so
did the math. That's
it's
good. I love it.
it's funny, and
Yeah,
that,
that's ridiculous,
But
so.
at the same time, it's people are injecting these ideas
Yeah.
into the conversation as if they're legitimate solutions to a
I know,
problem.
I know.
And they're not. The other one that we're getting is, stuff about people's welfare benefits, and it's like $1 million or so every year.
I know that.
I
We're
said-
talking. We need $1 billion. Billions.
We could cut the Michigan State Police entirely. We could cut the entire Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, and we'd be halfway there. We're talking serious
Yeah.
dollars.
So let's put it in perspective.
Right,
I mean,
so,
really, people are talking out their ass. I don't. Mind
I didn't
saying
say
it.
that. You said
no,
that.
but it's my show and I can say it.
it's politicians that are talking out
Yes,
there.
yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
If you're going to be serious, inject that conversation into the debate. But if not, come on.
Yeah. Exactly. So there's no Plan B yet, but it's in the works.
It's
They're
in the
working
works.
on it.
It's in the works, and I would imagine sometime by next week, the speaker is
to be
going to unveil
presented.
his proposal. Now, mind you, when folks are introducing their proposals, one's going to start really far to this direction, and then someone else is going to come out really far to that direction, and
Yep.
hope to fall somewhere in the middle. So I'd be
Right.
surprised if the plan that's actually unveiled is the plan that we actually end up voting on in the House and in the Senate.
Okay.
It's going to be different.
So do you think the speaker will have his plan? Do you think the governor and his team will have his plan?
It's possible that
Two?
if the three or two of them are working together, that the plan is being presented in a united front then to say this is what folks want. The governor has said he is not interested in anything other than raising new revenue. He wants to raise new revenue. And the speaker said today he wants to look at our existing resources. The question then is, if we're using existing resources, that's fine, but where are we taking them from?
Yeah.
And who's going to be affected as a result? We can't have education on the chopping block. We can't have public safety on the chopping block. We can't have health care, anything for our seniors. None of that stuff can be on the chopping block.
especially public
it's going to be
safety.
It's going to be a non-starter for a lot of people.
Boy, it's going to be tough. So what is your plan? I mean, you thought about this, I'm sure,
Sure.
a lot.
Sure.
What would you like to see?
The first thing that I tell folks we need to do is look at what we call PA 51. PA 51 is the public act that deals with the formula with how we dole out the road funding dollars. And right now, this was built, or this was done, decades ago. They did a rewrite, I think, in the late 90s, and they could have fixed this problem in the 90s if they did it the right way. But again, you kick the can down the road, and it's somebody else's problem. Yeah. But so right now, just to break it down, in the Marines we say break it down Barney style.
Yeah.
You give out the money on a linear formula. If you've got a mile of road in Garden City, or if you've got a mile of road in the Upper Peninsula, you're getting the same dollar value for that mile of road.
Right.
And what we know is that, depending on where you live in the state, the population density, the current condition of the roads, you're getting money, on a flat formula when potentially you don't need it. And so I'm saying,
like up north.
Well, you go to the Upper Peninsula. They've got
roads
pristine
are
roads, pristine roads.
Oh my God.
Even with, and this is what you should consider, even with a worse freeze-thaw cycle than what we have down here.
Isn't that
their
crazy?
roads are far better.
And why is that?
Because they have less people driving on them.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is go in, look at PA 51, take into consideration the current condition of the roads. Does this road up here need it? No, it doesn't? Okay, well, those dollars can now go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Does this road over here need it? Absolutely. We're going to push the money there. So give the money to where the need is. We know that. MDOT maintains the current ranking of every road condition out there, and take into consideration population density. Where there are more people on the roads, there's going to be the greater need for the funding.
Right, and the heavier trucks and stuff like that.
So that's the first piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
I think by doing that, and now that gets into a conversation about existing resources that I think
So
makes
how much
sense.
money do you think we could come up with just doing that formula, do you think?
Well,
or don't you know?
It wouldn't be more money. It'd be saying, if we've got X amount of dollars, let's spend those dollars the best way possible.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that they're going to where the need is.
Right.
And then and only then, if we know that we have a need for more revenue, then let's go and have that conversation. I think, conversations about registration fees would be really difficult for folks. Anything else? The one that we keep hearing time and time again, and it's not from the legislature, it's from the residents. They say, if you're going to do something, do the gas tax. If you're going to do something, just raise the gas tax, get it over with.
Yeah,
and be
you
done
do
with
hear
it.
that a lot.
And
what do you feel? You good on that, or?
If that's the most, I guess, user-based way to, levy that assessment for additional revenue, I think that could make some sense. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure first that we're looking at how we're spending the existing money. And then two, the other piece that I know folks are going to talk about is the trucks, the truck weight limits, the fines and fees there. And then two, is everybody being asked to make a contribution to this, whether it's folks in Garden City or it's folks that are getting some pretty fat tax credits right now in the state of Michigan? Is everybody chipping in to make sure that we get this done?
But we do have to lower those truck weights, I think.
Sure.
Mike?
One of the problems with the gas tax is that's not as stable a source of income as you would like to think, because as the cars become more and more efficient, they use less and less gas. So in the future, you're not going to get as much dollars from the same gas tax increase as you get now.
And I think that's why some folks were keen on the idea of moving the tax, instead of it being at the pump, to the wholesale level. Because when you move it to the wholesale level, and when you set that floor in place to say it can never drop below 41 cents, but as the economy gets better, we're going to bring it more, and as it dips lower, we're never going to drop below that floor. But again, the problem was when you move that tax to the wholesale level, you take it away from the pump, you blow a hole in the school aid fund. And if you want to return the revenue for school aid fund, you have to raise the sales tax. And we know for a fact that folks are not keen on raising the sales tax.
No.
And some folks, we mentioned this already, some folks are running around trying to say, this is a mandate on folks don't want new taxes.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. I think what Mike said is spot on. Folks have no problem chipping in when they know that it's going to where
I agree,
it should be going.
Yep.
And so,
everybody's participating.
Right. The alternative that I'm fearful of, that luckily we haven't heard too much of it yet, is, aside from the sales tax piece, there are those 10 other bills, right?
Yeah.
And so those 10 other bills went down. So restoring the earned income tax credit to 20%.
For lower income.
Folks, if they want to make the argument, can go around and say, see, I told you that the folks don't want to raise the earned income tax credit to 20%. That's why they voted no. They could say, see, I told you they don't want to have the truck weight limits because they voted no. They don't want to lock down the school aid fund because they voted no. Now, that's a stretch. But when you start injecting that into the debate and the conversation enough, it muddies the waters for a lot of folks.
Yeah, it does.
Politics is nasty business.
It is. It is. And you really got to think, I mean, you're constantly thinking.
It's chess.
Yeah, exactly. What moves or what.
That's why I like Commissioner LeBlanc. He plays chess pretty well.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. And
It's a lot nicer business just being a talk show host than just a politician.
you got that right.
I'm thinking of trying it out.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, anytime. So let's move on to your veterans dog.
I love it.
Bills.
I love it.
Yeah.
Saw a
What's
great
going on?
article in the Garden City Observer on Sunday about
Yes,
that.
very nice.
I was ecstatic about that.
Good article.
This bill is it's popular.
Yeah.
And what we have done since its introduction, number one, let me say I'm really optimistic. I think this is the year that we can get it done. I think we've got all the pieces in place. I think that we've done enough work on the front end.
So where is it
to
right
really
now?
grease the
as
wheel.
we stand?
So right now it has been referred to. Well, let me back up. This is a 4-bill package. Now sometimes what you'll do is, say I'm in the Senate, you're in the House. We both want to introduce the same issue. We'll both introduce the same bill.
Okay.
And then just whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
What we did is because we wanted to send a really strong message that veterans issues in Michigan should not be bipartisan.
Yeah.
Is that we have a 4-bill package. They're 4 separate bills.
Okay.
And they're being sponsored by 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans.
So your counterparts.
Right. 2 senators and 2 representatives. So it's bipartisan, bicameral every step of the way. So in the House, the 2 bills that are in the House have been referred to the Committee on Military and Veterans Affairs. In the Senate, the 2 bills have been referred to the Committee on Veterans, Military Affairs, and Homeland Security. And so, again, every step of the way, we're learning more and more and more.
Yeah.
The version of the bills that we put in were great. We had someone approach us and say, you know what, here's an opportunity for us to look at this language as it affects everybody who uses a service dog to bring us into compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. And believe it or not, the lieutenant governor, who is very passionate about on disability issues,
That's good.
we had about a 25-minute conversation a couple weeks ago. I don't know how this guy had time for a 25-minute conversation.
Wow.
But he said,
that's
he said, David, let me work with you on this issue.
Awesome.
And so we're working with the lieutenant governor's staff right now to what we would call draft substitute language, which is
Tweaking it like?
right. So when you introduce the bill, I mean that's it as it's introduced.
Okay.
If you want to make changes along the way, you can make amendments.
Okay.
Or you can take that whole thing and introduce what you call a substitute, which is essentially same subject, same topic, same bill number.
Yeah.
But you've rewritten enough of it to where, or added enough to it to where it's essentially a new bill. It's the
Okay.
same bill, but it's a new bill.
Okay.
So when we get back the substitute language from the lieutenant governor and his office and everybody else, we're going to come together one more time. We're going to go over it one more time.
Yeah.
Does this do what we want it to do? Is this something we can live with? Is this something that folks in the business community understand the ramifications of?
That's real important.
It is.
The business community.
And that goes into the procedure that I try to follow prior to the bill introduction. Instead of writing the bill and introducing the bill and then going to everybody, the second I had drafts of these bills in our hand, we called together the retailers,
Okay.
the Restaurant
I was just gonna ask you,
Association,
yeah.
the Theater Owners Association.
Yeah, so they're not in the
hotel.
dark.
So, yep,
Right.
I said,
That's
listen,
great.
this is not a contentious bill. We can agree on what the outcome is. Help me understand how we can make it best for everybody.
So are they pretty much on board, businesses?
Absolutely.
I mean, you told me earlier when you were starting this that you were quite surprised the opposition to this.
At first there was some concerns about, the implementation and the questions. And, when we sat down and we had those conversations, it put a lot of people at ease. In fact, I had an invitation come through from the Michigan Chamber of Commerce last week to come present to their board on the legislation. It's pretty rare. The Chamber tends to be a pretty conservative organization.
Right.
Can't say that too many Democrats are asked to come speak before them, but this is a big enough issue that affects their members, and so they invited me to come out and have a chat with them. And so I think, again, because we did it the right way, because we kept everybody in the loop, because we engaged every single stakeholder, because we did as much work on the front end as we could possibly do, that when the time comes to pull the trigger for the hearings on the bills, I think that things are going to move pretty quickly.
All your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted.
I hope so. You can think so. I've said
You can
before,
overthink it too, probably.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I've said before, such and such bill, it's a slam dunk. It's a slam. There's no such thing
No
as a
such
slam
thing.
dunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I'm really, really optimistic.
Yeah, well, I know you worked hard on it.
Yeah, it's a fun issue, too.
Yeah.
The other thing that's exciting is we're working with our folks on our policy staff, folks within the departments right now. Something that I'm passionate about is challenging the legislature to think about, is what you're doing and saying for veterans actually doing something for veterans? A lot of the times you'll see folks put up ideas or plans that, it sounds great or it looks great. They can go back to their district and say they did such and such, but at the end of the day, doesn't really accomplish much. And so we're going through every single nook and cranny and corner of state law to find every little carve out or handout or free fishing license and blah, blah, and totaling it up.
Yeah.
How much are we spending on things like, a discounted fishing license?
Yeah.
And if it totals enough money, would that money be better spent doing something that actually serves the veterans as opposed to, something that we can pat ourselves on the back and say that we did, and it doesn't really make a difference as it relates to the reintegration process, finding a job, maintaining a job, mental health, all the things that continue to plague the population right now. So, that's something that's going to eat up a lot of our time. I'm going to put together between now and next year what I'm going to call an alternative budget for the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. Because I don't think we're spending enough right now. We've got very few dollars comparatively going to the 640,000 plus veterans that we have here in our state. Tremendous amount of disorganization. You've got 1,000.
Where are we now? Remember, we're 51st or 50th or something?
I think we're at 49th now.
Are we? We've come up a little bit.
49.
Wow, flying.
And so, but when you look at the budget on the whole, now you take a look at Michigan State Police. Okay, so I sit on the Michigan State Police budget. There's 1,100 troopers, across the state, plus the detectives and the sergeants and stuff.
Yeah.
And all the labs that they run, the crime labs, the gun labs, also. And so they do so much. The state police has a $600 million plus dollar budget, over $600 million for the state police. Military and veterans has a little over $100 million budget, and there's over 600,000 of the vets.
We have a lot of vets there,
right?
In Michigan.
So 11th largest in the country.
11th largest.
And so I think we need to again look at the infrastructure that we have in place. Is what we're doing.
Not taking anything away from the state police, but let's level the playing field there a little bit. You know what I mean?
No, and believe me, I'm the first to
I know.
defend our guys in blue there because they do a great job.
Absolutely.
And but I'm saying, I just don't think that we're giving it the attention we deserve.
Nope.
And when you say to folks, do you think that we're doing enough for the vets? 9 times out of 10 they say, yeah, of course we're doing this, we're doing that, and blah, blah, blah. And then you realize, we're really not. We're really not doing enough.
And you were the one, I think you were the one that says, everybody, all the politicians want to have their picture with a veteran, right?
Oh, yeah.
But what have they done for that veteran?
What have you done?
What have you done?
Nothing.
But they all want that picture, don't they?
It's great come election time.
Yeah.
It's great come election time. And so, it's...
Well,
it is what it is. And so I feel of all the things that I've advocated or done or said in the legislature, I feel very confident in the fact that I've tried to be a really, really strong advocate for the vets.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I think you are.
I mean,
and I hope we are here too on this show. I mean,
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not the biggest issue out there. It's not the sexiest issue, but it matters and it makes a difference.
It does.
And so at the end of the day, when you lay your head down at night, you feel good.
And
about it.
I mean, let's face it, it's not just the veteran either. It's their families.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
And I had asked you, I questioned you on the flyer on Facebook, about, it said for the Iraq and Afghan veteran. And I says, why is it just them, not all veterans? But it is for all veterans. But those are the ones that are hard to get.
Sure.
They're the target.
And part of it, Kerry, I always, am 100% forthright with this stuff.
Yeah.
Part of that was that was the politics of it. That when I would say all veterans, okay, I could get people to kind of pay attention.
Yeah.
But when I said the words Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, because when you're talking about the mental health issues or the post-traumatic stress TV, a lot of folks think the older guys. Mm-hmm. And so when I say the words Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, it puts an entirely different focus on the issue and gets additional buy-in from folks.
But you're right, because those veterans are the hardest ones to get to and to reach. Right. It really is. I don't know what it is, but just dealing with the VFW and the American Legion and that, you know, you have your Vietnam, your second, you know, your World War II and all that, but what are those Iraq and Afghan veterans? You can't get them in there.
You know, it's interesting.
I don't know if they can't relate or what.
The last bill that I had signed into law was the hiring preference for the veterans legislation.
Yeah, that was good too.
And what I've been trying to do since joining the Senate is whenever I've got whatever. I mean, you saw Pat Squires. I had her come testify on that veterans issue.
Yep.
You know, I'm trying to bring folks from the district to Lansing to get you know the experience and see what I do and how we do it. And so we had that bill signing. We had Brian from the VFW or the American Legion here in Garden City. So he's not like a young guy, but he's not an older guy. He's kind of in between.
Right.
And I had a really young guy named Matt from Redford, and I had an older guy from Detroit, and an older guy from Inkster. And so sitting at the table, so you're sitting at the table and you're listening to folks talk to one another, and that is one of the biggest issues that came up. How are we getting? Or what are we doing to do the outreach to the young guys?
To connect. How can you connect?
To come in.
Yeah.
And what you find is for 20 years, they won't participate. And then, you know, when they hit their 40s or their 50s, okay, maybe it's time to go join the Legion or the VFW. And so I think it's, you know, as much as I want to challenge the state to think about what we do for the veterans and how we do it, I want to challenge organizations. And when I say challenge, you know, respectfully, challenge them to think about what we can do together to make sure that we're pulling everybody together.
Yes.
Because what you're seeing, I mean, the attendance is down.
Yeah.
We have so many cases of mismanagement where people are getting their hands on the dollars and just, I mean, for decades,
I know.
run to rag. And so now we've got, you know, VFW 7575 here in Garden City is closing down.
Yeah.
There's the one downriver that's looking at. There's the one up, I think it was in Macomb County that's shutting down right now.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't get it. But you're right. We need to connect with those guys and bring them in, you know.
You know, I think I've told you the story. I was out in the west side of the state once for a veterans, just like a town hall meeting. And without jumping the gun, I'll tell you that myself and the chairwoman of the Veterans Committee are working hard to bring a committee hearing to Garden City.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I just thought it'd be a really cool opportunity for everybody down here to come just be part and testify. And so, we're on the west side of the state, and we're asking what they're doing. And they said on Saturday nights we do beer pong tournaments, and they get the World War II guys, and they get the Iraq and Afghans, and they're on the same teams together.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, you know, I don't think I'd probably advocate for that publicly, but you know, they in their own unique kind of way found a way to bring them together. So,
and that's how they did it.
Yeah,
I like it.
To each their own.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, whatever it takes. Yeah, absolutely. Boy, I had something I was going to say and I lost it. Mike, what do you got? Any questions? Any comments?
I don't have the background that you guys do with the veterans, but I think it's there's a lot of lip service paid to the concept of we really appreciate the sacrifices that these people have made, but not nearly enough is done to deal with their problems once they get back and to integrate them back into society and give them a chance to be productive.
And you know, like I always say, a lot of that is a product of the services that we are giving are so poor that, I mean, I don't want to go to a VA hospital. I don't want to have my buddies go to a VA. So, you know, they turn away and they fall through the cracks. I think the other piece is, too, I mean, when you look at what it takes to join the military and go through the workup and the preparation to go overseas.
Right.
This is a months-long process.
Yeah.
To get ready to go be in those situations.
Yeah.
And then once you are in those situations, you come back, it's like a 6-minute process.
Yep.
To go through the demobilization. You know, obviously I'm being facetious, but I mean, you spend so much more time on the front end getting ready to go in such a comparatively little period of time doing that transition piece when you come home. And just as much as we're putting in that effort, again, to when they're going over and we're supporting them and everything else, that support cannot stop when they come home. It's got to continue for months after they come home to ensure that, like Mike is saying, they're not just getting the lip service and then being left out on their own.
And like you said, the VA hospitals, I mean, the wait, come on. I mean, it's gotten better, I guess, in Ann Arbor. I don't know, but how can we correct that, you know? I mean, it's just...
The chairman of the
why can't they go to a different a doctor and give them a slip or something? You know what I'm saying?
That's what, you know, a number of us have said where the chairman of the Military and Veterans Affairs Committee.
Hey, what's up?
The mayor's here.
The mayor.
Yeah. Where we've said, I mean, the guys come home, they get their card, go find whoever you want, and send us the bill. If you need this done, or you need that done, the door is open to you. Send us the bill.
Yeah.
And I said, watch how quickly things, hospital systems like Oakwood or DMC or Providence, St. John, watch how quickly they stand up and try to attract 640,000 new potential patients.
Could you imagine?
The services would really go through.
Yeah, I say open it up, man, out of network or whatever they have to do.
Sure. Like I said, give them the
It could be
card.
done.
I don't care where you go.
Yes.
Give them the card. Let them get the service.
The gold card.
We'll pay the bill.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely. I agree.
We call that Occam's razor. The solution is sometimes the simplest.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Yeah.
It's staring you right in the face, or common sense, a lot of it.
I did a call today with some folks in Boston to talk veterans housing, because I'm working on this homeless issue with the veterans piece.
Right.
And this guy, who has a tremendous amount of experience in it, I'm still dipping my toes in the water. He's been doing it for decades. And sitting there listening to him walk me through the bureaucracy to get this stuff done for it, I mean, it makes you want to just give up just listening to it, because how the hell am I going to cut through all that crap?
Such a downer.
Just to get something for the vets. So, that's where you get into, you hear about Democrats talking about government and Republicans talking about government. It's not about the size. It's about, streamlining it, the effectiveness, and what can we do to achieve the outcomes we want with the fewest headaches possible.
Yeah.
And right now there's just so many hoops which you got to jump through. It discourages so many people and delays the outcomes of what could potentially be really good stuff.
And you know what? Before you go, there's one other thing I want to bring up. Is the
Go easy on me.
No, the reforming of the no-fault insurance.
Oh yeah.
Now here's something that I never even heard about they were planning on doing until I saw the girl on TV who ran into the pole.
Right.
The commercial I'm talking about.
Right.
I mean, how quickly was that? Brought up and laid on it. In our lap?
Committee was posted at 4:59.
Yeah.
On, I believe it was a Tuesday.
Okay.
Committee was held at noon on Wednesday. It was voted out of committee that very day.
Oh my gosh.
It was voted out of the Senate the very next day on a Thursday. And so,
have you ever seen?
I think I saw the road fast.
I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure I've seen something fly through the chamber like that.
Oh my gosh.
I will tell you that this is an issue where.
Now, what are they wanting to do? First off, can you just explain it real quick?
So, the biggest piece of the puzzle is dealing with benefits,
catastrophic fund,
catastrophic claim, fee schedules, and I'll tell you, the thing that's tough about politics is so much of it lives in a soundbite. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell anybody, if you give me half an hour, I will explain to you why I think every position that I hold is the right position. And if you give me half an hour, I could probably get 90% of people to agree with me. Yeah. But I don't got a half an hour. No-fault insurance is an issue that I feel so passionately about. And I think the people of Michigan have been so duped as it relates to their insurance rates. And the benefits that we receive from it are so, just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. To do anything that would jeopardize the no-fault system in Michigan, it is a catastrophic effort on the part of the legislature. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why. How many times have we heard that your insurance rates in Michigan, which we know are some of the highest in the country, are the result of no-fault insurance? We hear it all the time. And the insurance companies tell you, if you get rid of auto no-fault, your insurance is going to go down. Well, the fee that we pay for no-fault here in Michigan, it's a flat fee of $186. Okay. It's about to drop to $150 this year.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So for that fee, that flat fee, I'll give you an example. I pay $2,200 a year for my car insurance. Of that $2,200, $150 of it goes to auto no-fault. It's a flat fee. For my residents in Inkster and Detroit that pay $6,000 a year on their car insurance, $150 fee. Whatever you all pay on your car insurance, you pay a $150 fee. So if I get rid of auto no-fault, I will save you $150. I'm not going to drop your insurance rates $500, $1,000, $2,000. I'm going to save you $150. And what you will lose in the process is the best auto insurance coverage in the entire country, to where if you are in a catastrophic accident, the second your bills hit $500,000, you're no longer on the hook. And this fund picks up the tab for the rest of your life. It is the Cadillac plan in the entire country.
Yep.
And folks have said time and time again, we're the only state in the country that has it. We need to get rid of it. The joke is that if you get into a catastrophic accident on the Ohio-Michigan border, push your car into Michigan. Because you will have benefits.
So it is a Cadillac.
The way it works in other states is they may cap your benefits at $25,000, and once you hit that $25,000, which if you're in a catastrophic car accident, you hit $25,000 on day one, then you are responsible for suing whoever and chasing down whoever and getting a good lawyer and all this stuff. It is just ridiculous, the hoops that they make you jump through. And who do you think is going to win that battle when it's Carrie Parton against the big insurance company? Who do you think is going to win that battle? Man. Whereas right now in the state of Michigan, if you are in a catastrophic accident, you have no worries for the rest of your life. And this is one of those issues where folks are passionate about it and emotional about it, but you just
hope you never
until it hits you, until it impacts you.
Exactly.
You just it's hard to comprehend. But then once it does, thank God that we've got it. And the other thing that I add too is, as it relates to my passion for the subject, because we have this pool of money that can go towards traumatic brain injury research, brain research in general, to make sure that we have the best programs here in the state of the highest qualified traumatic brain injury specialists in the country, in all 50 states. I think there's like 22 of them. 14 of them are in Michigan.
Wow.
Just in Michigan.
Wow.
We are so good in Michigan. The NFL, I was there with Joseph Fourier a couple months ago to announce the program. The NFL just announced a program with a company out in Ann Arbor called the Eisenhower Center that I'm friends with.
Oh, I think I heard about that.
To where when there's a veteran of the NFL and there's a military veteran, they both have traumatic brain injury, they're going through their course of treatment together. And by pairing, the way that we're kind of saying is, a veteran of the gridiron and a veteran of the battlefield, the outcomes that we're seeing for these guys as it relates to their recovery and their treatment, it increases exponentially. And so, we have the best program in the country. We pay $150 a year for it. And anybody who says... And
if it's there, when you need it, it's there.
And so in this plan, the plan that they're doing to try and overhaul it, you know what they give you? They say, we're going to guarantee you a $100 rate reduction. They even say in the plan, all you're getting is $100 off. And they say, we're going to guarantee you $100 for the first 2 years. So what do you think happens come year 3? We're going to make up that $200
you better
we just
believe
lost.
they are.
Yeah. So, it's an emotional issue. It is one of the greatest examples of, people, everyday people versus these big insurance companies.
So this is going to be on a ballot
I got you.
or what?
This right now is within the hands of the legislature. And so, it flew through the Senate. 2018. 20 to 18 was a vote. If one person voted no, that was part of 20, it would have been a 19-19 tie, and then the lieutenant governor comes in and breaks the tie. Or a Democrat or any other Republican who voted no would come off the board, so it would be 19-18, and then it failed. It took one person flipped and got this passed out of the Senate. And the problem they're having right now in the House is they're about 20 votes short, because for people like, I think of a guy named Tom Hooker. Tom Hooker is a representative from elsewhere in the state. He's a deeply religious man, and he morally has a problem with taking away that type of health care for people that are in these catastrophic car accidents. Morally, his Christian faith does not allow him to take that type of benefit and protection away from people. And so it's not about... I guess I should say it's more interesting the nuances of why people are no's for different reasons, and certainly why people are yeses. And like I said, for me, it's a no-brainer. But then again, for the veterans piece, it makes the most sense in the world. And you go out, that Eisenhower Center I spoke of, they've got a new facility out in, the name is escaping me. It starts with an M. It's out towards Ingham County. Brand new facility for veterans. Say it again?
Milford?
I don't think it's Milford.
No, isn't it? Or wait, not Commerce.
No. Either way, it is solely for veterans and veterans who use service dogs. And so they've been big supporters of the legislation that we've been doing. And so, You know, I tell you, it was funny. The guy that runs this program, John Cornack, is his name. He's not here, so I can talk about him. John Cornack he's the man, all right? You know, you'll see him. He's got his black suit on. He's got a pair of black Nikes because he wants to be comfortable, but, you know, he wants it to match. And, you know,
he's styling.
Yeah, so somebody came to John last year. Now, he runs a very successful company, okay? Came to John last year. We want to do a program for veterans, Operation Outdoors, Camp Liberty, where it takes the veterans as they're coming home while they're getting all these other wraparound services, puts them back in nature, where we like to be.
Yeah.
You know, so you're out there and you're hunting, and you're fishing, and you know the folks that I think it was TLC or whatever show where they do the massive tree houses. They came in and built a beautiful tree house over the lake. And they said, John, we really want to do this thing for the veterans. He says, you know, I'll do anything for the veterans. What do you need? They said, we need a check for $100,000. He pulled out his checkbook on the spot.
Really?
Wrote him $100,000. And now they're operating this beautiful facility called Camp Liberty. And so when we're talking about the veterans, the PTSD piece, he come up to me after the press conference. He says, David, I'm telling you, I can fix this problem. Let's work on it together, and let's try and get it done. You know, don't let the bureaucrats and everybody else kind of screw things up. You know, so again, I know I'm kind of straying now, but you know, Eisenhower Center. If you want to go out, we'll go out. We'll check it out.
I'd love to.
Yeah, we'll bring the mayor too. We'll bring the mayor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just the work that they do is phenomenal, and the focus that they have on veterans is great. So
that's cool.
Sorry for getting off topic.
No. The only last thing I wanted to mention about the insurance deal, though, is this catastrophic fund. A lot of people have talked about, we really don't know how much money's in there. They're not very transparent about that.
Right.
And only certain people can touch it or something. I think we've discussed this at coffee hours.
Yeah, and go ahead, sorry.
It's all the insurance people that run it.
Yeah.
And nobody else is allowed in.
Right.
Some folks are saying that we need to reform the catastrophic. It's called the MCCA, right? So this is the Catastrophic Claims Association. This fund.
Okay.
Democrats and Republicans agree that there needs to be reforms. Some say that we need to get rid of it entirely. Everybody, well, a lot of people disagree with that.
Yeah.
But everybody agrees that we can have some reforms to cut down on fraud and abuse and waste, and we agree on that every step of the way. But what we have said, and when I say we, I'm saying the Democratic caucus, is before we can agree to anything, open up the books.
Yeah.
Open the books. Show us how much money is in there.
Transparency.
Show us how much is in there. Why is there? Why do you charge us $150? Why do the formula that we use to determine that $150 includes everybody that's in a catastrophic accident living to be 100+ years old?
Okay.
Is that really true? No, it's not true. You know, that's not going to happen.
No.
But those are the formulas that they're using to set that rate. And so we went through and said, if you use just something as simple as the average lifespan, we could provide the exact same benefit for $75 a year, in which case it's even more affordable and even more asinine to get rid of it. And so we agree across the board. There is a conversation to be had, and there is movement that must be made on fraud and abuse and some of these other things. But open up the books.
So how do you get them to open the books? What can you do to...
So this is the thing. The organization is headed by, and this is in state statute.
Really?
When I tell people this, they think I'm making it up. It's in the law. It's in state law. The 5 heads, the 5 presidents of the biggest insurance companies in Michigan are in charge of the fund.
Oh, my gosh.
And so this is the other part of the plan that just makes people's blood boil.
Yeah.
They're saying we need to get rid of this Catastrophic Claims Association. But everybody who's currently in the plan, they're going to remain in until they all pass away. So if we've got $18 billion in the plan, and we've got however many people in it, and the day the last one passes away, if we've got $1 billion left, you know where that money goes?
Those 5 insurance.
To the 5 insurance companies.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what it says.
Boy, they got it locked, don't they?
Yeah. So we have said there needs to be a number of movements for transparency here. And the response that we get every single time is, trust us.
Yeah.
Trust us.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And the joke that I make as well as that, it's like, I don't know any guy where if his girlfriend said, let me see your phone, I want to see who you're texting, and he says, no, trust me.
Right.
She ain't going to trust you.
No.
And we don't trust, that we're being told either. So
yeah, that really needs to be reformed.
So I mean, and that's the holdup, is that we're saying that we agree with you. We want to do the same thing you want to do here as it relates to these few issues, but show me what we're working with.
Yeah.
And
show me the money.
Show me the money. Show me the money, and they won't do it.
Exactly.
So that's where we run up against the wall.
I get it. All right. Anything else you want to cover though before
They're good to go.
we call it?
I'm excited to go home tonight and go to bed.
Yeah, you had a long day, huh?
I'm excited. about it.
Kiwanis. What else today?
Well, I was in Lansing for most of the day.
Oh, so you were there too?
Yeah, we had a bunch of stuff. Day started at 7:30, and
Today's Thursday.
yeah.
Right.
Tomorrow, tomorrow my sister graduates nursing school. So
Oh yeah, congratulations to her.
4.0. She's
Wow.
the smarter of the Knezeks.
And she
I
finished
don't know
early.
if my constituents are happy
She
about
went into
that.
nursing
Yeah.
instead of politics.
Yeah. Well,
There's one.
She was real smart
One
there.
hit for her.
right. I told when I first got elected to the Senate and my first day in the office, I took a piece of letterhead and I wrote my parents a little letter, just thanks for everything, and I said, for your 3 kids, one is a nurse, the other is a high school calculus teacher, and one's a politician. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
they got a kick out of it.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, congrats to her. And if you have anything, you guys? Anything you want to ask?
No.
Any comments?
I answered it all. I'll
Okay,
make room
you
for
did
the
it all.
mayor.
All right, yeah, make room for the mayor. We'll get him in here. And thank you very much for coming on.
Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Go say hi to the wife. Hang around if you want. I'll talk to you. It's warm. Hot seat. Mayor Randy Walker is in the house. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. Just left.
Is the mic on? There you go.
Just left Garden City High School and had the privilege of going to the awards banquet for the Garden City High School ROTC cadets,
Oh, yeah.
and we gave them some community awards for what they do for Veterans Day and Memorial Day and the Cougar Cafe, and of course they got all kinds of other awards from their organization. But it was great to be part of it, and they've always taken care of me since 2009. So it was great for me to be able to go there and
Good turnout?
yeah, and give them thanks. So
Yeah.
You have a big Memorial Day ceremony coming up, don't we?
yeah, Monday, May 25th at
Yeah.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
I got a Major General, Jerry Cannon, is the guest speaker from the United States Army. So first time we've had a 2-star general as a guest speaker, so it should be pretty good.
Awesome. Yeah, you always put on a good
So
ceremony there.
looking forward to
I
that.
always look forward to that. What else you got? Election year.
Yeah, I just want to
I'm endorsing them.
mention that I turned in my paperwork to run for a 4th term for mayor of the city of Garden City.
Yep.
I have 2 challengers, and I believe in the democratic process, so I'm looking forward to what's ahead. But,
Yeah, be a
we're gonna
primary.
Keep moving Garden City, I think, in the right direction. And just in the last couple days, I've secured several endorsements. The Garden City Police Officers Association, the Garden City Command Officers Association's already endorsed me. Senator Knezek, former Senator Glenn Anderson, Mayor Bill Wild from Westland. Who am I forgetting here?
That's a pretty good start.
Wayne County Commissioner Richard LeBlanc's endorsed me, and I just sent the letter to the UAW and to the firefighters. So, and I expect
Cool.
I'll get those as well. So, I'm
Awesome.
securing a lot of endorsements just in 2 or 3 days. So,
That's good.
it's good to see people backing me.
Is there going to be anything else on the August ballot for Garden City voters to vote on besides the mayor?
Yes, the public safety millage.
Yeah, millage.
Yes, that's right.
That'll be on there.
That's it. The public safety
The
millage
millage?
and the mayor. That's it.
And then the general in
Should be
November.
Should be another real quick trip into the polling booth and back.
So what were your thoughts on the proposal 1 going down in flames big time?
Yeah, I voted no. I wasn't for it. They're not giving
Yeah.
enough to the local communities. I mean,
Not enough
we
to the
give
local.
us giving us $300,000.
It's nothing.
You can't fix one street with that.
Nothing. It's a drop in the bucket.
It's embarrassing. I mean,
Well, they definitely sent a message to Lansing, didn't they?
they put too many ornaments on the tree.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
We need something just for roads.
We discussed that with the senator that if they would have said raise the
Just
sales
roads.
tax just for roads,
I
it
think
would have passed.
It would have passed.
It would have. So now I think we're probably going to have to introduce something in Garden City for some kind of a community road millage like other
Yeah.
communities have done.
Yep, that or a bond.
Yeah,
you
bond,
but
something down the
There's
road.
no money in the general budget's what we use to run the city.
Yeah.
To pay payroll.
It's not there.
It's not there, and then the Act 51, we can do like one street a year.
Yeah.
We're so far behind that one street a year, we're never going to get caught up. So we need to have meetings with the residents and see what they want to do. I know they're fed up with the streets,
I
but
think-
do you want to pay for them or do you want to keep driving on them? I mean, it's
I think I think the residents would support some kind of a 1 or 2 or whatever the hell mill we need for roads.
So,
I do.
I would hope so.
Hopefully we can do something.
I mean, I live in the city. I drive on these roads. I'm willing to.
Well, you drove down my road tonight.
Yep. It's one of the nicer roads in Garden City.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. So, and then they had the baseball, all that opening day ceremony. You were there.
Yep. Yeah, that was fun. Did that last Saturday.
Good turnout there as always. It's a big deal. And
pitch.
we went to Plato's for an early dinner, and I was surprised there was a new business opened up next door, a sub shop.
Yeah.
They bought the old Riapelli's place, I believe.
No, this is like in between Plato's and the video shop.
Yep.
And Patrick's, I think, was down.
Oh, well,
the other way.
Patrick's was the old Riapelli's. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
no,
I was surprised.
I heard people talking about that on Facebook. What's the name of that place? The sub shop?
Something sub. I don't know. I can't remember.
Surprised they didn't have you do the grand opening. No.
Well, they haven't done it. They had. It says grand opening, but I don't think they've done it yet.
Speaking of grand opening, how's that? What's that place? Locale place.
SoCal?
How's SoCal holding up? It's still.
I haven't been in there in a while, but
haven't either.
I've been there twice.
Still there.
Yeah.
I think summertime's coming there. Ice cream.
Yeah, that's going to pick up.
It's going to pick up for them.
The yogurt, yeah. But getting ready for the Taste Fest. So looking forward to that. And sold out.
Sold out.
Yeah.
We need to make a bigger deal out of new businesses opening up.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
More publicity, more visibility of the
for the
city and so forth.
The last one I cut a ribbon on was Jackson Hewlett Tax Service on Ford Road.
Yeah.
But they call, and if they don't call us, a lot of times we don't even know about it. Invite us to cut.
Yeah, a lot of times they don't even have the newspaper, the Observer, or any reporters there, or anybody covering it. So we'll make a big deal.
We got the Taste Fest coming. We got Relay for Life coming up.
Yeah, Relay for Life. We're going to announce that.
It's got some good stuff coming up.
Kids Day in the Park.
Memorial Day ceremony. Kids Day in the Park.
Memorial Day.
Yeah, a lot of stuff in Garden
City. Need a lot of
City.
people to come out on Monday, May 25th at 11 a.m. So
that's a good deal.
Good turnout. Garden City Rental's already donated 300 chairs. Last year it was 200.
Really?
They said come and get them free.
We're going to be growing.
So the American Legion riders are going to set them up and tear them down after, and we'll take them back.
At City Hall?
Yeah. From now on, Memorial Day is always outside because we do the wreaths.
And then
Veterans Day, because the weather in November is cold, we're always going to be inside.
I love that. That was the best move you ever made on it.
Is there a backup plan in case it does rain on Memorial Day? Or
it's kind of hard because Dan York's all set up.
Yeah.
We've
just always lucked out, man. Just knock on wood.
Just have the umbrellas out.
He won't be able to scramble that quick.
No. Yeah, so it'll go. It'll be good.
You said that the VFW 7575 is closing?
That's what David said.
No,
really?
Yeah, said they're going out.
That's the only one we got, right? The one right there by CJ's or GJ's Diner.
Yeah, VFW, wow. And then we have the American Legion on Middlebelt.
Well, what was the one that we went to for the pub crawl? 7575. That was a nice one.
Yeah.
I thought, what is it? Maintaining it?
I don't know. Not enough members.
Probably not enough members.
Membership's down.
Pay the utilities.
I passed by. I thought it was always pretty busy.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when he mentioned that too. I'll have to dig in a little more about that.
Did it make the hometown?
Huh?
Wasn't it Hometown Life? They wouldn't have.
I didn't see it. Wow. No. So, well, what else you got, Mayor? Anything else you want to cover?
That's it.
You sure?
Yeah. ROTC cadets.
Things are going good.
And the campaign coming up.
City's in good shape.
City's in real good shape.
Yeah.
We had one of our police officers get in a car accident this week.
Yeah.
Nobody's hurt.
Yeah,
thank God. Yeah.
Car get fixed. We'll be back. We'll be
one of our new ones.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You can't drive that many miles 24 hours a day and not have an accident.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
We're just lucky nobody got hurt.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse than it was. So everything was good.
Yeah.
How's your budget process coming along? Is it pretty well set?
Yep, it's going real good. Yep.
Are you going to be canceling that meeting on May
18th?
18th?
Yes.
Oh, that'll be canceled.
We'll cancel that at Monday's meeting.
Oh, and you're doing a resolution for our friend Mary Ribeiro.
Yes, doing that Monday.
That's going to be nice.
Well
deserved. We were at that funeral.
Yep. We're going to get a resolution for the Kiwanis' anniversary thing, but it'll probably have to be at a council meeting after the anniversary dinner.
Yeah, that's how many years?
67 in Garden City and 100 for the Kiwanis organization, started in Detroit.
Yeah. Wow.
100 years ago.
Very good.
67 in Garden City. All right, cool. All right, well, thank you for coming. Always a pleasure.
Yep.
Always welcome. You know that.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and as the election gets closer, we're going to talk.
Yep. I'll be here.
You ain't going nowhere.
Got nothing to hide. I tell you straight up.
That's it. Transparent.
Yeah.
Mr. Transparent. All right. Well, let's get, how about sports now? We'll get Derek in here, and we'll talk some sports.
All right, let's get the latest up-to-the-minute sports news with Derek. What's going on today, Derek?
Hey, welcome back to the show, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been busy, I know, at the house and stuff.
Yeah, got to be enjoying this weather.
Got a new addition to the house, Willow.
Oh, well, she's been around for a while. I think I had her since the last time I've been on here. But
How
yeah,
old is she now?
She'll be 9 months.
Wow.
This month, yeah.
Still a pup.
Still a puppy.
So what do you got for us tonight? Boy, a lot of sports.
Yeah, well, we'll start off with the Tigers. They finally got out of their slump. They won 4-1 today. Kyle Lobstein did a superb job.
Hey, that kid's doing good, isn't he?
Yeah, it's interesting that the first 3 starts of the year, Simon and Green did well. And their last 3 starts, they haven't done well.
Yeah, isn't it?
Lobstein just seems to be getting better.
Yeah,
and better.
he started out slow, and I think you got Price. It's still
he's more consistent than the others.
Sanchez. He had those
He's
two
coming
bad.
around.
Yeah, he had those
He's
two
coming
bad
around
outs. Now
again.
he's coming around, found his stuff.
And what about Verlander? He got the green light?
He got the green light to start throwing.
Yeah.
He's going to start. He was actually doing some tosses in Chicago.
Okay.
But he won't be back.
But he
before
won't.
June.
Yeah, he has to do
maybe
his
July.
He still
Lot
has
of
to do a
rehab.
simulated game and all that stuff. So
He'll probably go down to Toledo.
Yeah, he'll probably have a couple rehab stints down there. KC won today 7-4 against Cleveland, so he still remain a game and a half, or a half a game
Boy,
back.
that team just keeps winning, Mike.
Yeah, they're good.
They're
But
good.
I mean,
They're hitting better than they have in the past.
Yeah, they are.
And their bullpen is just practically shut down again.
Yeah, it's like the best in the league right now.
Unbelievable.
We have a very important 3-game series starting tomorrow, so David Price will be on the hill.
That's with
KC, back in
Kansas.
Detroit. So
Yeah.
we finally ended that 10-game road trip. That was a long road stand we were
It's going to be a huge series for you out there, man.
Well, if the weather cooperates.
Yeah, let's hope.
It's going to be the next 2 days. Going to be kind of wet around
Well,
here.
Tom says hopefully, so we'll see.
Moving on, we obviously the Red Wings out of the playoffs, but
Yeah.
it's still important to keep track. I'll tell you what, man, my bracket's shot. Tonight, we actually have a chance for 2 sweeps tonight. Chicago is playing. Well, actually, are they playing tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing Minnesota. They're up 3-0. I kind of called that one. I actually had Chicago in 5, so they're up 3-0 on Minnesota. Anaheim, I had them beating Calgary in 6.
What about Tampa beating Montreal, man?
They're on the
Having a-
brink. Yep, they're on the brink.
Jeez.
And well, actually tonight,
Stevie Y's happy.
No sweep tonight. Doesn't look like it. Montreal's up 5-2 with 15 to go in the game, so it looks like they're
5-2.
going to save their series. And then a big one, my pick to win the Cup. New York Rangers are down 3-1 in the series against Washington.
That's who you're picking?
Well, I had New York. I had New York and Anaheim for the Stanley Cup final. I had New York win it all, but they're down 3-1 right now, and they play tomorrow, Game 5, on NBC Sports Network. So, but yeah, Tampa
Still
Bay,
some
man.
interesting hockey there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Tampa Bay. I guess it makes the Red Wings look a little bit better, because I think probably what is it? 4 out of the last maybe 6 years that we've lost, the team that's beaten us has gone on to either win the Stanley Cup or gone on to the finals.
So let's ask the $50,000 question: is Babcock going to be back? Both of you.
Well,
We'll know in a couple
Well,
weeks.
here's my take on
What's
it.
your thoughts?
After we got eliminated in Game 7, and he gave his post-game presser, I wasn't really. I mean, it was literally like 60-40, or that he was probably gonna, leave because he's got the house in Saskatoon. That's where he's from, and but his kids have grown up here. They're graduating high school this year. He's been here for 10 years. He's got so many offers on the table, and I mean.
So who wants him? Who's looking?
Toronto.
Who's he looking at?
Well, Toronto is, I think, a front runner. There's a few other teams that have let their head coaches go. But he's already made it clear that he doesn't want to do GM work. He doesn't want to be in control. He wants more control over the Red
coaching.
Wings. But his relationship with Holland's gotten better over the years. I know it was on the strains for a while, but I think right now it's 50-50. And I think after this week we'll know more.
There's really no other team that wants him that's going to put him in his position for winning as well as the Red Wings are.
Well, he wants a team. I mean, I know he's dying. I know he would love to have. He's up for a challenge, and I know he'd love to rebuild a team. But I think he'd rather have the pieces in place, and I think he has it right here in Detroit.
I mean, it's close now. I mean, it is.
He's won a cup here. He's proven a lot. I mean, he's won President's Trophy, Stanley Cup. He's had great years. He's probably been best coach since Bowman, but he still, I think, feels a little bit unaccomplished, and I think he knows that the future's bright for us. And I think if he could get a new contract done. I mean, I'd love to see him here for another.
So are they
5
talking
years.
or not?
Oh yeah. Him and Holland are going to do some talks. I think within the next week or so.
They're on their way to Czechoslovakia or something like that together. So.
Oh really?
That's the first.
Going to wine and dine them over there.
Well, that's the first sign of good news. I mean, if they weren't talking, if they were going to wait till the actual finals were over.
Yeah, that is good news.
The fact that they're still talking as the playoffs are going, that's good news. So I think it's 50-50.
Stay or go?
I'm going to say stays now.
Stay.
I think he will. Okay. I think Holland will probably, get something out of him to, kind of look a little.
You think
bit,
a long term or short term?
I'd say probably 4 or 5 years, maybe.
However long he wants it.
He's going to want to guarantee.
Holland has said that
money's no object. No, money's no
keep
object.
Him? Yeah. Okay, wow.
They're going to dish it out, but they
he wants to be the highest paid coach.
Wow,
it takes $4 million a year.
But you know what? He deserved it. He's the best coach in the league. There's nobody better than him.
He's got us to the playoffs, but he hasn't won that cup, man.
Yeah, he is.
I know.
Well, he almost could have had 2.
Lately.
He should have had 2 back to back.
Yeah, he should have.
We blew it against Pittsburgh in 2009.
Exactly.
I guess ever since really 2011, we've just kind of been on that. We've exited the first round. I think 3 out of the last 4 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the second round the other year.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we could have even. I think we could have even gotten past the finals. If we would have hung on and beat Chicago.
Yeah.
13 was really fluky.
When we lost to Chicago in the second round, it was the last. It was
Game
7.
7 games that way. Yeah, and we actually had a 3-2 lead just like Tampa, and we blew it. But he's a great coach. He's proven himself, and I think he'll get a very decorative contract, whatever he gets offered.
Yeah, wherever he goes, he's going to make some bucks. Let's put it that way.
Yep,
and we kind of hope he stays here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on from hockey.
NASCAR, they're going to Kansas this weekend, Saturday night race. No Mother's Day race. They're going to race Saturday night. So.
Oh, right. Day before.
Gordon's won there 3 times. He's the most. He's leading in active wins with 3, and he won the first 2 races there. So I mean, he won last year's race. So.
And we're heading out to Bristol. In August for the night race.
Yeah, we'll be there in Bristol for the August race, which is amazing.
There may not be a show that week.
Well, I don't think so, unless you plan on doing another road show. And you see how those have gone in the past.
Yeah, I
think
not.
Where were we in Traverse City or something? You were trying to do a show, and we were on the beach, and we could hear you cussing from the room. You couldn't get a signal or something. Internet crashed on you or something.
Yeah,
that was back in the early days.
Yeah, it was. But I think we'll just take that week off for sure.
Yeah,
do some reruns. And football, anything in football? Lions draft, what do you think?
Well, my Patriots, Deflategate's been all over the news.
Oh, yeah, Tom Brady, they said cheater.
Yeah, pumpkin eater. Well, they were saying that, now more investigation's been done. They're saying that he more than
said
not
he knew about it.
Yeah. And, I feel like if he would have just come clean at that presser, where
he's still denying it. He's still denying it.
He's going to pull a Barry Bonds on this one, I feel like, and just sweep it under the rug. But I wish he would just come clean. I'm sure he's lying.
So what are they looking at? Fines? Suspension?
I heard up to maybe 3-game suspension to start the season, which won't be a big deal, I don't think. I mean, but who the hell's their backup quarterback? I don't even know.
But it kind of taints him now, Taints him, taints the team.
It happened during the AFC Championship game, right?
Jesus.
They still won the Super Bowl fair and square, and they're still my favorite team next to the Lions. So, I support them.
Yeah, you've been with them a long time.
I've loved the Patriots for years. But, it sucks to see that, but
So, do you like the Lions drafts they did, or
I gave them a B+ on their draft. I thought they got I think that they got a new defensive tackle, didn't they?
They got one defensive tackle, right?
Yeah. Now who was
the 4th round or something?
Yeah,
like that?
4th round. I think the first 4 or 5 rounds were great. I thought that we handled all of our keys right, and we got that backup running back. We got that running back.
So you think
that's
they got
probably the area that we needed help the most.
Well,
that we didn't get as much as it would have been nice. We got a lot of help for offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got a key running back.
We
got 2 cornerbacks who.
Yeah, they're pretty high on that running back.
Have a lot of promise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you think they filled shoes?
No, I don't think they filled Sue's shoes, but I mean they lost fairly too. So we lost some key opponents there on the line,
be,
you know. But
God, let's hope it's not another rebuilding year, for God's sake.
Well, I mean, I say they'll make a run, but I think they'll miss the playoffs. I think.
You think they're going to miss?
I'll say 9-7. I don't really have high expectations, but I mean, they could surprise. Who knows?
Yeah, they got to pretty much win 10.
I hate it. Well, I hate it when they always they take 2 steps forward, then they take
Yeah, they'll win what? They'll start off 4-0, 5-0, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate that.
Their schedule's kind of favorable, but I mean, it could be a 500 schedule. It could even be better. It all depends, but football's too hard to predict. You know.
I hear you. I was
pretty close last year. You know,
if we could predict it, we'd be millionaires.
Yeah, I mean, we went 10-6 last year, didn't we? When we made the playoffs.
I think it was.
Yeah. I actually had them going.
You picked it, I think.
Well, no, I had them going 11-5. So
okay.
I was close, but
no cigar.
Yeah. But, you know, it's a Lions. You know, you can't always be surprised. There's no surprise with the Lions. So if they do good, then it's a surprise. But, I mean, no expectations going into the season.
Yeah.
Well, as I said many times, people are too critical of the Lions.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because
anybody can have 4 or 5 bad decades.
Yeah. Only the Lions. The team that's been around longest past the Super Bowl and has never gone. So.
All right, so is that a wrap on sports?
That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, it's good to have you back.
All righty.
Come back anytime, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, when you're not busy or whatever.
I follow sports pretty close, but it's hard to fill his shoes. So I'm glad to see him back.
Yeah, he does a good job.
I got the notes.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here, and then we'll wrap this up. We'll get with Mike and get some announcements in real quick. I just wanted to make sure that you all know the city council meeting. Next one is going to be May 11th. At 7 p.m. in the council chamber located at 6000 Middlebelt Road. They urge all residents to attend. And I believe they're going to cancel the May 18th.
That's what the mayor said.
Yeah, he said they were going to cancel that one. So
it's too bad that was the one. That's the one we were going to get our Kiwanis proclamation at.
Right.
So now we'll have to get it after the anniversary dinner.
Yeah. And also, I want to put a plug in for Brenda's Butterfly Habitat. If you haven't gone there, you're really missing something. They're located at Barson's Greenhouse, 6414 Merriman Road.
Nice.
Yeah, for 2015, she opens June 4th through September 5th, Thursday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They will be closed when it's raining. It's a great place to hang out with the kids or the grandkids or just by yourself. Bring a book, sit down, and Brenda would love to have you there. It's all free, but donations are accepted. Please check it out. You won't be sorry. And the big event that's going to be here May 19th, the Garden City Business Alliance and DDA Taste Fest. It is sold out. They sold approximately 187 tickets. We're going to have 187 people running through these restaurants. They are no longer available. Details are to follow as to when and where you'll be able to pick up your T-shirts. It's going to be at the DDA office on certain days. I will get that posted on our Facebook page.
I think it's going to be like Thursday, Friday, and Monday before the event. But
yeah.
I don't know if they set that in stone yet.
Yeah, you'll be able to get, they'll have 3 days ahead that you'll be able to pick them up if you want to bling them out. People like to bling them out a little bit, their shirts. And then the starting point will be at Merriman Road Baptist Church. That's where you will pick up your T-shirts, which are your ticket. You're going to get a ballot. You're going to get a handout with a map, and that's where you're going to start. Also, Merriman Road Baptist Church is going to have refreshments and entertainment there. I hear that Elvis may be in the building. I'm not sure, so you're going to want to check that out. You're going to get a ballot. There's going to be a ballot box at each venue. At your last venue, be sure to mark your favorite restaurant you enjoyed, and there's also going to be a comment section. If you'd please fill out the comment section, drop it in the box. They appreciate it. Buses will also be provided, or you can drive yourself. The venues on this year's Taste Fest are Albert's on the Alley, Golden Feather, Garden City Cafe, Sports Venue Bar and Grill, El Satan's, Toast Family Dining, and Plato's Place, and also Merriman Road Baptist Church, which will be your starting point, like I said. Should be a fantastic time, so be sure to come hungry. Now, if you're interested in becoming a member of the GCBA, please visit our website at gcbiz48135.org or our Facebook page at facebook.com/Garden City Business Alliance, where you'll find much more information. We're talking about some great events planned in the future for the community, so check it out. Also, we have a Garden City Business Alliance meeting tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. at the Straight Farmhouse in the Grand Parlor, and that's 6221 Merriman Road, I believe. So if you're a business owner, and we'd love to have you come on out, and we got a lot of things planned, like I said. Okay, we're going to get with Mike now and do some announcements, and then we're going to wrap this up. Mike, what do you got? Okay,
tomorrow, the Mother's Day Tea Party at Maplewood Center, located at 31735 Maplewood in Garden City. It's going to take place from 12 to 3. Tickets are sold at the Balmoral desk, or you can call 734-793-1870. Tickets are $12 per person. Please bring your favorite teacup. Then try your luck at the Volunteer Committee's basket raffle. Several baskets to win. Tickets for the raffle sold only at the event. I know that Nora Fix and I have prepared a basket. Well, actually, Nora's prepared it. I'm just co-financing it.
Actually, Cheryl and I just dropped one off there today. We prepared for the Commission on Aging, too. So they got a lot of nice baskets going to be given away.
Yep. Flower sale. The Kiwanis Club of Garden City and the Garden City High School Key Club will hold a Mother's Day plant sale fundraiser on Saturday, May 9th and Sunday, May 10th. The sale will be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. in the parking lot of Garden City High School, located on Middlebelt north of Ford. Hanging baskets and potted plants will be offered and will range in price from $20 to $50, depending on the size of the basket. Profits from the plant sale will support the many children's programs provided by the Kiwanis Club, as well as the Key Club's community projects throughout the year. The plants and flowers are top quality plants from Barson's Greenhouse. The Kiwanis Club will accept cash and checks for the Mother's Day plant sale, but no credit cards. If you got a credit card, you're going to have to go down Maplewood to Barson's to use it. General donations for both Kiwanis and the Key Club also will be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
The Agent Orange Town Hall meeting at Northfield High School is also tomorrow. It's going to be, looking for a time, 7 o'clock a.m. registration. Several speakers. If you want to know more details about it, certainly tune into our community chat program last week when we had.
Oh yeah,
we had a lot of information about it. From
really good.
One of the big sponsors. It's remarkable the long-term effects.
Yep.
That this Agent Orange has had.
Just unbelievable.
Not only on the people that served in Vietnam, but as you said earlier, people that were located near facilities where Agent Orange was stored. And I wasn't aware of it until we had our guest speaker last week. But it's also affected the next generation and the generation after that. 7, I think, up to 7 generations. It's unbelievable. Just crazy. It's so hard to believe that would be passed down genetically. Those effects to the later generations.
Yeah, that's going to be a great town hall meeting. And listen to last week's show. It was really informative.
Yeah. I got a spring and craft show announcement. Proceeds going to help the veterans and their families. It's going to be held at the American Legion Auxiliary, 396 on Lawrence, just back of Warren Road, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the American Legion Hall there. For more information, call Kathy Spiz at 248-477-8594. There's going to be food available. There's going to be bake sale. Admission is only $1. Mm-hmm. Visit and like our Facebook at Otto Miller Jr. Auxiliary Unit 396, Garden City, Michigan, Craft and Vendor Shows. And the last one I have is also May 16th. The Garden City Kiwanis Club will be putting on their annual Kids Day in the Park.
Yeah.
It's going to be at the Garden City Park, main pavilion, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's primarily aimed at children 3 to 11 years old. Tickets are $3 per child or $5 for all children in one family. Don't miss out and have on a day of fun and activities, including 4 bouncers, a climbing wall, Dynamite Master Magic Show at 1 p.m. G.C. Mason's Michigan Child ID program is free from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Hat decorating hosted by the Red Hats. Cookie decorating. Razzles the Clown and balloon art. A scavenger hunt hosted by the Commission on Aging. Face painting by Merriman Road Baptist Church. And you will be able to purchase food and refreshments there if you wish. Help the Garden City Kiwanis serving the children of the world. And that's all I have, Gary.
All right. Well, a lot going on. That's a big deal, that Kids Day in the Park, too. A lot of fun.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun.
We typically have at least a couple of hundred kids show up.
Yeah, easy.
And we would be glad to see a new record attendance.
Yep, always. And keeping with the theme of May 16th, the 7th annual Biker Blessing is going to be held at Merriman Road Baptist Church. Registration opens at 10 a.m., Blessing of the Bikes at 1 p.m., followed by the Matthew Brotherton Memorial Cancer Ride. So head on over to Faith Riders, Merriman Road Baptist Church.
They're going to be busy people at the church that day because they're also doing the face painting for us. At the
they got a
Kids
lot
Day.
going on. And here's another event on May 16th. Are you kidding me? Garden City Lions Club is having their 5th annual Charity Bowl at Cherry Hill Lanes, 300 Inkster Road. That's 5 p.m. They're going to have, for $20, you get 3 games of bowling, shoes, pizza, and pop. They're going to have mystery 50-50, trophies for first place, best and high game for women and men, the best in our tin can raffle baskets that are loaded with great things. For more information, get a hold of Cindy Wagner at 313-407-0239. Can you imagine all the stuff going on May 16th? And then the Relay for Life of Garden City is May 30th and 31st. That's going to be held at the Garden City Middle School, 1851 Radcliffe Road in Garden City. Please join us on Saturday, May 30th. The Survivor registration is 9:30 a.m., celebration and Survivor lap at 10 a.m. For more information, you can call 248-663-3419. This is still going to be a overnight event, but only 22 hours instead of 24, with teams usually packing up and leaving by 8 a.m. And then the Straight Farmhouse over at the Garden City Historical Museum, a nonprofit organization, is having their outdoor flea market, which is going to be located on Merriman Road, the 2nd and 3rd Saturday of the month, June through September. That'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Setup begins at 8 a.m. It's only $15 for a 10-by-10 space. Monies from the rental go to the museum, payable on the day of the flea market. Restrictions are no weapons, no offensive pictures or literature, no food or beverage sales either. Outdoor flea market will be canceled due to inclement weather. They're located at 6221 Merriman Road, so you want to check that out. And with that said, I think we're ready to call this a podcast. I want to thank our guests for tonight, Senator David Knezek, for stopping by. It's always a pleasure. Boy, you gave us a lot of information on what's going on with this Plan B, so we'll get more information as it progresses. Also, thank you to my co-hosts, Mike, Tom, and Derek. Great job as always.
Mayor.
Also, the mayor. Don't forget, Mayor Randy Walker was here. Good luck to him in the election coming up, too. Also, Holly and Joey, all the way from Wisconsin, thank you. And thank you to everyone who hung out with us in the chat room. We really appreciate your support every week. Remember, the audio from tonight's show will be on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GCChat shortly after we sign off. And look for the video sometime tomorrow on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/communitychatshow. And let me mention that if you would like to come on the show, we'd love to have you. Maybe you own a business or belong to an organization. You'd like to come on and share your information with us and the community. Just send us an email at gccommunitychat@gmail.com, and we will shoot you some dates available, and that's all there is to it. So remember, the success of a community depends on the community. Please support your local businesses. And if you see something, say something. Look out for one another out there. For all your weather information, head on over to DopplerTomsWeather.com. He's got a great little website over there with a lot of information on there for you. Join us next week right here on TalkShoe.com, show ID 82757, when we welcome Lisa Watts from the Maplewood Community Center. So on behalf of Richard, who isn't here, and he didn't even call in, but I bet he's a sick little guy. On behalf of Mike, Tom, Derek, Holly, and Joey, this is Carrie. Take care and see y'all next time. Good night. All right. We're going to call that a wrap. See you guys. Take care. Wave, everybody.